Okay, hello. This is Lydia Herrera. Welcome to How to Have Stress-Free Holidays with Your ADHD Child. I'm glad you're joining me this evening. In the next 45 minutes or so, you're going to discover strategies and ideas to help you have stress-free holidays or celebrations with your ADHD child. So who is this webinar for? Well, first of all, if you're tired of thinking about an upcoming holiday, knowing that it's going to be stressful, just like in the past. If you're tired of being tired, even before the celebration begins. If you're frustrated with your child's lack of focus and not following instructions or obeying rules in the midst of a lot of family and friends. If you're tired of being impatient, yelling, saying things you wish you hadn't, and then feeling guilty and kind of thinking that you're a bad parent. If you're struggling with disciplining your child effectively when others are watching. You know, our kids are tough, and others just don't understand most of the time what we go through, do they? No. So if any of those sound like you, then you're in the right place. Today, you're going to discover how to set up expectations for yourself and your child so the day goes well, how to anticipate problems that may come up when there are a lot of people around. You know how that goes. How to cut frustration level so bothersome behaviors don't get you down. You know, like when a relative says something rude or hurtful about your kid, or also when your kid does something that embarrasses you or makes you angry. You're going to discover how to gain confidence in disciplining and encouraging your child during a holiday gathering. Because when you are confident, you do what needs to be done without hesitating and without worrying about what others may think. And you're going to discover how to manage your energy and emotions so you respond well to others as well as to your child. Now, this is my promise to you. You can do this. You can cut overwhelm, frustration, and stress during any holiday season so that you, your child, and your family can celebrate in a positive atmosphere. Now, I have a special gift for you, as well as a fun activity you can use with your child right away. I'll tell you more about them in a few minutes, so be sure to stay to the end of the webinar to take advantage of these gifts. So, who am I? Well, first of all, I am a mom of 2 adult sons, and both of them are doing quite well. Our youngest son was diagnosed with ADHD and learning disabilities when he was in kindergarten. And I'll tell you, I felt overwhelmed with the diagnosis. I didn't know how to help him, and I didn't know where to go for the help that he needed. I was concerned about how this would affect our family. But you know, I was really determined to figure this out. I wanted to help our little guy in any way that I could. As a former classroom teacher, I worked with challenging students. Many of those students had ADHD as well as learning disabilities. And I saw how those issues could affect a person's self-esteem, their relationships, and their chances for success. I was also a principal at 2 different schools for at-risk students. The teachers and I worked together to provide learning activities that help students learn and grow toward school as well as life success. I'm an award-winning author. My book, Help, My Child is ADHD, is my story of living with our ADHD son. I share what I did to help our son learn and develop an attitude of striving for success. And we worked as a family to make the daily life less stressful for all of us. I'm a certified parenting coach and learning success coach. The specialized training that I got has helped me provide strategies, support, and encouragement to help parents who have been where you are now. Our ADHD son is an adult. He's a college graduate, and he's doing very well in life. Strategies I learned and developed have paid off. By applying those strategies, I helped our son see that he was capable. He learned how to channel his energy toward a goal, and he developed coping skills to stay focused and on track. Right now, he's establishing a really good career at a local hospital, and he has started studying for a master's degree. Now, am I suggesting that your child needs college degrees to be successful? No, not at all. But what I am saying is I have walked the path you are on now. I know firsthand what that's like, and I also know that there is hope. The possibilities for your child are endless. So let's talk about holidays, shall we? You know, whenever a holiday, a birthday party, summer picnic, or family reunion is on the schedule, are you feeling anxiety just thinking about it? You know, often our past experiences with gatherings, especially with our families, can bring up mixed memories. Some of those are absolutely wonderful. Some are absolutely awful. And some are downright ugly. You know what I mean. I've experienced that too. Now, I'm not going to go into why that happens, but I am going to share some ideas on how to help yourself and your ADHD child stay free of that drama and the stress. As you begin planning for a holiday gathering, whatever the special time may be, I want to encourage you to stop and spend some time thinking about past gatherings with the people that you're going to be with again. Okay, I know there are some things you may not want to remember, but there may be a lesson there. So, what comes to mind? Were you overly tired even before the big day with all you had to do to prepare? Did your child embarrass you by acting out or not cooperating when she got super excited? Did someone say something about your child that hurt your feelings or maybe made your child uncomfortable or pretty sad? Did your child throw a fit because he didn't like any of the food that was being served? I know that's not a comfortable place to go, but if you can keep these things in mind, you can anticipate possible problems and plan for them ahead of time. Begin by making a list of what happened that was troublesome, even if the list is just in your head. You know, maybe your brother was his obnoxious self and kept teasing your child and made her cry. Or maybe Aunt Sally came in from out of town and just kept kissing and hugging your child over and over, and you could see the exasperation in your child's eyes. Perhaps the menu was not very child-friendly, and your child ended up stuffing herself with chips, soda, and chocolate. Maybe your child went outside to play, and then her dress was torn, was ruined. A lot of times the gathering lasts too long, and then everyone is tired and crabby by the end. And as usually happens, none of the adults was watching their kids. So a couple of scuffles got going, and the blame game got out of hand with your child in the middle. Sound familiar? I'm sure you can add more to that list too. Now, knowing that these things usually happen, think of how you and your child can prepare to make a change. You know, for yourself, commit to trimming down on what you say yes to, and then be willing to say no. Don't spend more than your energy and financial budgets allow. Interesting thought, huh? When you exceed your energy budget, you will be tired and cranky. When you exceed your financial budget, you will become resentful and broke. You don't want to go there. Don't let yourself get caught up with worrying about what others may think or say. You know your limits. Go easy on yourself. Give yourself permission to do less. Get enough sleep. Duh, right? But I'm not talking about just the night before. Get enough sleep the week, several days beforehand. Because when you're rested, it makes a big difference. And if you have an opportunity, meditate, because that helps calm the stress that you're anticipating. When you are rested and feeling calm, you are better able to think creatively and control your emotions and your responses. Recognize things and people that you are grateful for. Make a list. Gratitude is a huge happiness booster, and it's also a big stress reliever. Think through how you can control your emotions with difficult people or relationships. You may need to stay away from the uncle who always tries to corner you about your religion or politics. Just excuse yourself nicely and walk away if necessary. Perhaps you can give a sincere compliment to the sister-in-law who just doesn't like you. That may help melt the ice a little bit, and that helps other people to feel more comfortable too. And please, be prepared to watch your child as much as possible so you can help him play well with the other children, or you can help diffuse an argument before it gets out of hand. And another thought, refuse to engage in gossip. It rarely turns out well on any day, but especially at large gatherings. And you don't want to end up being the bad guy. And think seriously about others' expectations of you. Is it really necessary to go to 3 different parties to make sure you see everyone? Help your child prepare for the gathering by talking over what he enjoys about this type of gathering and what he doesn't. Are there too many people and he gets overwhelmed? Do the other kids tease or bully him, or maybe just ignore him? Is there nothing fun to do at Grandma's? You know how that goes. Do people say things to hurt his feelings? Does the celebration last too long and your child gets cranky? Think and talk about what you can do together to make the day go better this time around. Maybe there's a game or a quiet activity that you can have ready to help the children play nicely together. And if the weather permits, how about an outdoor game or activity? But be prepared to supervise to make sure the kids are working well together. Or maybe one of the older kids can help with this. Ask your child what dish he would like to have that day and have enough ready for all the kids. You may find that other kids prefer something other than what's on the menu too. I have to chuckle. Just a few days ago, my son and I were talking about one of the celebrations that we're going to be having here pretty soon. And he said, Mom, I don't like the food that we're going to be serving. Can I make spaghetti instead? And, I had to laugh. But, hey, if that makes his day better, even as an adult, who cares? And you know what? I was thinking about it. Probably other people are going to want spaghetti too. Talk openly about past incidences that caused problems. Depending on your child's age, you can suggest ways your child can avoid those situations this time around. Your older child may have ideas of her own. Give your child permission to be by your side or remove herself if she is uncomfortable about something that is going on. And be ready to help your child handle situations that need intervention. But when that happens, be careful to control your emotions and not engage in drama. Better to walk away than ruin the day, even if things appear to be unfair. And, they usually are. Plan ahead about what will be acceptable behavior in your mind and share that with your child, and also talk about what will not be tolerated. Let your child know what consequences he will get if he crosses the line. And then you have to be ready to follow through. Idle threats do nothing to help your child. In fact, not following through will only give your child permission to act badly the rest of the day. So, you know your child, and you know what kind of situations tend to get them overstimulated or start acting out. So you know you'll need to be on alert. Now, I know that's not a whole lot of fun when you would prefer to just hang out and have adult conversation, but you also know that letting your ADHD child get out of control only makes for challenges that you're going to have to deal with anyway. Now, when the big day arrives, do your best to de-stress the getting ready routine. Have a calm morning and avoid any last-minute rush. You know, when you have that last-minute rush and that stress builds up, your child feels that. You feel it. And then a lot of times the day just doesn't start out very well. So if you can avoid that, it will help your child be more cooperative, and it'll also help your child be calmer. If the gathering is at your home, get up extra early to get yourself ready, and then to prepare what you can in advance so you aren't stuck getting your child dressed or stressing out in the kitchen as guests begin to arrive. And ask for help. You don't have to do everything yourself. Hopefully, you have asked others to help with food, drinks, or anything else that can be delegated. And as guests arrive, get them involved in anything that will help make the last-minute stuff go easier. You know, it's okay not to be Superwoman. If the gathering is somewhere else, don't say yes when you want to say no. And don't offer to do too much. I said this before. Spending more than your energy or financial budgets allow is not a good idea. Be willing and courageous enough to say no. Or you could say, not this year. You know, just say them graciously. And you don't have to give a reason or an excuse. Okay, so you've anticipated what might or could happen. You've talked with your child to help her know what to expect and what behavior is and is not acceptable. And you've planned ahead for your own responses given the history of these kinds of gatherings. So what's next? Well, as the day unfolds, discipline your child quickly, calmly, and firmly. You know something is going to come up. So be prepared to handle the situation without getting angry or showing frustration. When you're calm, it will help others not to feel uncomfortable or to judge your actions. Give your child positive feedback when possible during the day. You know, a smile from across the room, maybe a quick hug or a touch on the head or shoulder to let you know that you're watching and that you like what's going on. You like how he's handling himself. And if the opportunity presents itself, maybe you can give him a little comment meant only for him to let him know that you do appreciate how the day is going with him. Any positive feedback will help your child stay focused on what he's doing right. And of course, you may need to discipline him in a little while, but you know how that goes. But really, he needs to get positive feelings too. And adjust expectations as the day unfolds. You already know that there will be a few little ups and downs. Don't let yourself get upset. Redirect your child when possible. That's the best way to handle potential problems. But if you need to isolate your child, do it. If you need to give your child time out, do it. If your child needs a stern talking to, do it. And if you need to leave the gathering early to prevent drama or further problems, do it. Now, I know that seems a bit harsh or uncomfortable, but I'm here to remind you that staying past the limit your child can handle usually does not work out. I recall many holidays when my husband and I would go in separate vehicles. So if the day had to be cut short for our son, one of us would leave with him while the other stayed. And then we took turns, and it worked out okay. Now that's anticipating, right? Going in separate vehicles, but it worked. Remember, above all, whatever you have to do, it should be done calmly and without blaming anyone or anything and without drama. Basically, control what you can and let go of the rest. What does that look like? Well, if you can't change the situation, a change of attitude might save the day. Stay positive and don't worry about what others think. The afterglow. I know that sounds a bit odd, but there should be time to evaluate what worked and what didn't. Now, it doesn't have to be a big deal, but it's a good thing to review the day in your mind. There may even have been something you can talk over with your child. Perhaps she did a good job keeping the game going when another child had a meltdown, or she responded nicely to questions about school from another adult. Or instead of yelling and causing a scene, she walked away from a situation that just was not going well. And during this afterglow, you don't have to rehash anything that you already disciplined your child over. He knows, but you might make a note of what happened and what you might have done to be able to prevent that next time. Help your child stay out of trouble. You know, there are times when I look back and I can recall when, you know, if I'd been observing a little bit more closely, or if I had been listening, you know, to the conversation where the kids were, I probably could have prevented some problems with my child and with other kids. Now, some of this message may be pretty basic, but we all need to be reminded of ways to make life run smoother when we're in a special situation with an ADHD child. You and I both know that as the holidays approach, the level of activities ramps up. The stress of doing too much to prepare makes us less patient and even cranky. You know, it's hard to get sleep that we need when our brain is on overdrive. And then we tend to kind of overlook things, you know, let things slide. But then we explode when our child isn't cooperating. So let's take a step back from the busyness. I know that can be hard to do, especially when family traditions or expectations make you feel like you have no choice but to do more than you might want to. But remember, you have a child that needs you to help him focus and cooperate every day and during special celebrations. You have a child that needs you to keep a schedule that supports him and his needs. You have a child that needs you to help him learn behavior expectations through appropriate discipline and rewards. You have a child that needs you to help him feel good about himself by encouraging him and believing in him. And you have a child that needs you to be a positive force in his life by taking care of your own health, your own energy level, and your own self-esteem. Earlier, I mentioned that I had an activity I wanted to share with you, and this activity has to do with permission slips. Remember permission slips from elementary school? Yeah, permission slips gave us the go-ahead to go to the restroom or visit the school library or even run an errand for the teacher. Do you remember what they looked like? I remember them looking something like this. And I don't know about you, but I loved having a permission slip. It was like having gold. Well, the permission slips I want to encourage you to use will give your child the go-ahead to do something special. Get some paper, white or different colors, and markers and crayons or colored pencils, and cut the paper in the shape of permission slips. Then write on the permission slips whatever you want your child to have permission to do. For instance, it could be permission to stay up 30 minutes later, or maybe have a special dessert after dinner. Perhaps your child really likes a bedtime story, and a permission slip could give him an extra one. How about 15 extra minutes to play a game? Or perhaps your child would want to sit next to your dad at the holiday dinner table, and this would give him permission to do that. Or really, anything else that your child thinks is pretty cool. Your child can earn these permission slips when she's cooperative with homework, or doesn't have to be reminded to brush her teeth, or is ready for school on time. In fact, she could earn a permission slip by acting properly at the celebration that's coming up in the next few weeks. You know what you want your child to do more of, and you also know what your child would like as a special treat. Use permission slips to help her stay focused and to cooperate. It's a reward. And your child can use her permission slip whenever she wants, within reason, of course. But how good would it be for your child to enjoy using a permission slip that she earned? Now you can use permission slips for yourself too. Maybe you'd like permission to meditate for 15 minutes, or go to bed early, or maybe even soak in the tub. Permission to get a specialty coffee. Permission to say no to something that you don't want to do. How's that one? Permission to be yourself. Permission to make a change. And permission to get help. Now you can have your permission slips ready to use just because. You know, too often we are reluctant to treat ourselves well, or to do something that we know that's going to benefit us. A permission slip can remind you to do what's good for you or for your child. Now, we've talked about a lot of things that you can do and prepare for as far as the holidays are concerned. Are you wondering how you can do all of that? Well, you will have to get help. You will have to make a change. You'll need to keep a positive attitude so that you remain calm as you meet your daily challenges with your child, or those unique challenges that come up at special celebrations. You'll need to have effective strategies and the confidence to firmly and consistently work with your child so that she knows that you are in control. And that way your home can be a safe place for the entire family. You'll need to learn all you can and do all you can for your child as soon as possible, because childhood does not last forever. Your ADHD child needs you to be strong, consistent, and effective as she travels this path. Now, if you're not sure how to do all of that, get help. My client Denise did just that. Her 11-year-old daughter was very challenging, and Denise was getting to the end of her rope. She didn't know where to turn for help until we met at a conference I was speaking at. This is what Denise has to say about the help that she received. Before working with you, my child was frustrated. Everything seemed daunting to her. The three most significant improvements were in my confidence, attitude, and patience. With Lydia's assistance, I found a way to help my child. Now you have a choice. Just like Denise, you can keep doing what you've been doing. Think about that. How has that worked out so far? What is it costing you in time, frustration, arguments with your spouse or partner, no improvement for your child, and possibly money? what hope is there for your child if you stay on the same path? Now, here's how I can help. I have set aside time to speak with you personally and talk with you about how to make a difference for your child, starting today. I have a passion for parents like you who are in the middle of raising an ADHD child because I know what that's all about. I have lived through that. And I also know there's hope. My son is living proof. So what's the cost for this call? It's free. It's my gift to you. Now, if you think you want to take advantage of this free gift, go here and schedule your call as soon as possible. So who is this call for? Well, first, you need to be serious about changing your life, your child's life, and your family's life for the better. You need to be committed to making a difference for your child and doing what it takes. You need to be willing to invest in your child's future. Heck, you're probably already investing in time and perhaps money. Is it paying off? So why would I do this? Well, to help you gain clarity. On this call, you will gain clarity on what you need to do or what you need to stop doing so that you can be more confident and effective with your child. Imagine having direction and help. I know firsthand what it's like to worry and wonder if you can be an effective parent for your child. You don't have to live like that anymore. When we get on the call, we'll talk about your greatest concerns for your child's current issues and future success. We'll determine if it makes sense to work together. Then, if you want me to help you and I think we're a good fit, I'll invite you to become one of my exclusive clients. You can arrange for your free call right here. Now, when we work together, you'll get personalized sessions where we deal with issues you and your child are struggling with. You'll gain confidence. You'll be able to appreciate your child's strengths, and you will learn to use strategies that work with your child's unique needs. There's no cookie cutter here. And I fully expect you will see results in a short period of time. Now, right about now, you're probably having a two-sided conversation in your head that's going something like this. One side of the conversation is saying, oh, this would be good. I could use some help with my child. I really don't know where to turn. And the other side of the conversation is saying, oh, but I'm too busy. This probably won't work for me anyway. Why should I bother? Well, my response to that conversation is, what have you got to lose? This conversation is free. And what if you come away with information that will make a big difference for your child? Would it be worth your time? Maybe you need a permission slip. Go to bit.ly Lydia free call to schedule your conversation with me. You know, I'm sorry I can't make this a link. Webinars don't make that possible, but the information to connect is right there. When you schedule your private conversation, you'll be asked to share your biggest concern. That way I can be ready for our call. Now, my time is limited for these calls. Each call is a one-on-one private conversation, and I have a limited number of appointment times set aside. So connect now. You don't want to miss out on this special gift and opportunity. Thanks for joining me this evening. I want to wish you and your family a wonderful and stress-free holiday season. Good night.